What's up, everybody? Welcome into episode 55 of JD's Empire Sports Talk. Back after a little bit of a break, I wanted to just come on and talk about the Mets and the Jets before we started up again on Monday with Biggie. But definitely about the Mets, of course. Here it's 60 and 44. Before we get it started, I just want to talk about in terms of the show, like what's going to come in the coming weeks and stuff like that. So next week, of course, we'll have the regular episode with Biggie, which would be episode 56, and the normal reels and stuff like that will come out, and then probably later in the week, I'll do a Mets episode just in terms of the trade deadline because the trade deadline is later in the week. So we'll come on and recap if they do anything big, even regardless, maybe guys they missed out on, guys they did get, and stuff like that, just to keep everyone in the loop and just give my thoughts on what the Mets, what they can do. Because today I definitely want to talk about just what the expectations should be, and then Monday I'm gonna save. I'll save it for Monday of who I think they should just go out and get specific names. But for today, I just want to talk about I'll just say yeah, they should get this position, they should get that position, and then I'll save that the rest of that for Monday because it'll be a big episode, and then we'll probably do some football. We'll just say maybe give some predictions because I know preseason's starting up soon, so we can do that. And yeah, just recap what we missed maybe in the last time we did the show and into this time because we did the home run derby and we haven't did it since then. So we'll have a break this week. But yeah, that should be fine. But we'll start off episode 55 here with the Jets. Just quickly, they avoided the Justin Fields disaster. So basically, when the reports came out the other day, it seemed like as if that he was going to be really injured. Just how the wording and everything of the injury. Before they said what the injury was, just the wording of how everything went down there. And thankfully, he is going to be okay. He's been practicing and stuff like that, not in full team drills, but he's been doing his throwing and these 7-on-7s he's a part of, which of course doesn't have a pass rush and stuff like that. But he still is out there, so he didn't really miss any practice time, just in terms of the team, like regular, like head-to-head stuff that they do. He's not really a part of right now, but he'll be back. A dislocated toe. I said it in the video. They can't catch a break, and even with that, I know I said that he probably will miss practice time. They're very lucky that he's not going to miss practice time, but they still can't catch a break. They can't go into the season with no, not even a link, because this could be a lingering injury. This could be something that, it happens now in July, but in September, October, something can happen like that again and re-aggravate it. That's something that usually happens with this team. Excuse me, and they just can't catch a break. But I'm not going to keep going with that. I think that it's just worth noting that they avoided disaster. He was back out there the next day and practiced the next 2 days after that. So he's okay. He's going to be fine. And preseason starts in about 2 weeks from now. So hopefully he, I don't know what Aaron Glenn wants to do in terms of his who's going to play and stuff like that. But hopefully that these guys full strength and they play a little bit. All the starters play a little bit, and then they come out. But they definitely should get some playing time. That's how I feel about it. Let's move to the Mets. Okay, so I mentioned they were 60 and 44, which is what they are now. Came out of the All Star break last week. They lost the first two games against the Cincinnati Reds, which was Friday and Saturday. Something that I don't know what it is with the Mets. Usually every year, regardless of coach, team, whatever it is, they don't start out great out of the break for whatever reason. I don't understand it, but they don't. But they avoided um, getting swept by the Reds. They won a Sunday afternoon game, which didn't look too great, but they were able to get the 3-2 win. And then even Monday, they were down to the Angels 4-0. They came back, won that game, and then they won the next two. I happened to be at Tuesday's game. It was a lot of fun, and they won that game, another close one. I can't remember the score. It might have been another 3-2 game that they won. Alvarez hit a huge home run. It was right near me. I almost caught it. No, I didn't, but it was close. And then yeah, they won that game. Then they beat the Angels. They swept the Angels. That got them to four in a row. And then last night against the Giants, a very, very late game, late start. It was a 10-15 first pitch. They were able to get onto Logan Webb pretty quickly, and they won that game. So they look good the last 5 games. Hitting is starting to come around a little bit after they didn't look too great. In the beginning of the first 2 games of the Reds, even that last game, but especially those first 2 games against the Reds didn't look too great. And the pitching has been okay. Didn't really like what Mendoza did out of the break, but I can't complain now. They won 5 in a row in first place Right now, they actually might be tied for first place going into tonight because they were up a half a game and the Phillies won again, so they should be tied. They should be tied right now. So 60 and 44, and then if they win tonight, they'll be get that half a game lead right back. But yeah, nothing to really complain about in terms of overall play. But one thing I wanted to talk about, well, a few things. But first thing was starting rotation. It's been much better since Manaya, Montas, and Senga they're getting settled in. I don't feel like any of those guys are particularly at their best just yet. Senga, of course, was great up until his injury, and then he hasn't looked too great since coming back. I know his first outing he looked good. It was against the Royals before the All Star break, and he got taken out early just because of pitch count. And in his first start after the break, he did not look good at all against the Angels. We'll see if he can bounce back this weekend. But it feels like they're getting settled in, which is big. And then Manaya has made two starts since the break. Who he's looked great. Seems like he's trying to build that stamina more and more because he looks good and then he kind of falls off a little bit. So hopefully that he can keep this going and just build off of every start because the relief appearance is 3 innings. His first start after the break was 4 innings, and then this one last start was five. So if you can keep going with that, get the pitch count going in the right direction. And the one thing I am a little concerned about is the velo is going down, but it's not. I don't believe. Would hope not. It's not because of an injury. I think it's just more so of him trying to get those pitches in game and trying to keep up with that. And that's a little bit because he doesn't have the spring training that everyone else had. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't throw. So that's something that he's trying to do now, which is hard in game to do, which is why the velo is going down. But he's going to be more than fine. But I think there's definitely room for improvement in terms of the starting rotation. But they have played better baseball since they've had guys that are professional big league pitchers starting games instead of bullpen guys or guys that are minor league, long time minor leaguers, or whatever the case, openers, whatever you want to do. That wasn't working, and now I'm glad to see that they have a consistent five guys going out there every night. Montas is okay for a fifth guy. I'm not going to complain too much about him. He goes out there, he does the job as much as he can, and he goes and he moves on. But starting rotation though, they're doing their part. Hopefully they can start getting deeper and deeper into games, which help a lot. But yeah, they're doing their thing. At least they have somebody in there that's respectable every night. Lindor broke out of the 0 for 31 stretch that he was in that started before the break and up until Wednesday afternoon. That thing was that was a long 0 for stretch right there. But he has 5 hits in his last 2 games. Against the Angels, he had 2 hits. And then last night against the Giants, 3 hits, hit a homer, so he has 20 home runs on the year. He's probably going to get to almost 30 or at 30, I would say, just the way he usually does every year, high 20s, low 30s type of home run type of player. But at least he's getting the hitting going, and that's big because this is a team that when he hits, they win, and the stats back it up. It's not even something that that people say, oh, they just make that up. No, the stats really do back it up. That when Lindor hits, the team wins, and when he doesn't hit, they don't win. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's game. SNY showed the graphic they had on there. They were like, "Oh, Lindor in wins. Lindor hits over 300 in Mets losses in his whole career as a Met. Lindor hits in like I think it was like 170 something when they lose. That shows what he means to this team. That it's he goes, they go, and that's a big thing. And usually when your stars are having a good stretch, your team wins, and when they don't, they don't. That's usually how it goes. But it's definitely something to watch out for. And Lindor is going to be fine. Usually when he gets going like this, he's not going to stop. And on the road trip, they need to have a good road trip. They started off great last night with Lindor having a great game, and they need to have a good road trip here because these are two. Listen, the Giants haven't been playing great, but they still are a good team. They're dangerous. They can be a team that goes in there and beats you. And then the Padres are the Padres. They're another team. They're a really, really good team. Maybe not playing their best at the moment, just like the Giants, but still they're playing good baseball, and they're always in the mix of winning and stuff like that. So nothing really you can take away from them. So it's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, Lindor hitting is great. Francisco Alvarez is back with the big club. He didn't come up right away, which people thought would happen after the All Star break, but he was back Monday night, and he's played good, man. He haven't lost since he's been back. I know he did. He didn't play all four. Oh, they won the day before, and they won one of the games he didn't play. But since he's been in the lineup, they're 3-0. He looked better defensively. Still a little shaky, which gets you nervous, but he's definitely improved of some of the things that were going on beforehand that were not looking great for them, for him, I should say. But he's 3 for 10. A clutch home run that I said before I was right next to pretty much. 2 run homer. He's 3 for 10 with that 2 run homer and 2 walks. And yeah, I know he struck out a few times, but the plate discipline is a hell of a lot better than what it was before he got sent down. So it seems like he figured some things out, and he's getting on there. He's getting up there. He's hitting the ball hard, even if he's not getting hits. Sometimes he's still 3 for 10 is great. 300 batting average. That's literally great in Major League Baseball and just baseball in general. But yeah, he's hitting the ball hard. He's doing his whatever he has to do. Last night, that single he smoked up the middle was terrific. I mean, he almost killed both Beatty and whoever was covering second when Beatty was stealing there. He's doing good, and it's great to see because if they can get production out of him, which is what they thought they would get before the season started, that's just another aspect of this team that well you wouldn't want to play in the postseason. So we'll see what kind of Alvarez they get for the rest of the year, and I think it's going to be a good one. I feel like he learned from getting sent down. He fixed whatever he had to fix, and he's going to move on, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be more than fine at this point. And then the Mets have beefed up their team a little bit. We're going to trade Gregory Soto from the Baltimore Orioles, lefty reliever who throws gas. He has a good sweeper, a slider, whatever he calls it, but he throws hard, upper 90s, which is great. They traded 2 lower level pitchers, so not really something they would even be in the plans for a while. Which is you never know what they can be, but you're trying to make this 2025 team a good team. That's what you got to do. You got to go out there and get something to help them out. And it was very glaring that they needed another lefty. And even before Raleigh came back, they really had no lefties. Of course, Dick Lovelady, Castillo, who looked good last night, but I'm sure he's not going to really be in the mix that much. But what I'm saying is they didn't have any lefties. Rarely comes back. He's looked terrific, and you still need 2 lefties. Especially this is all about making a run to the postseason, winning the division, making a run to the postseason, and then winning in the postseason. And Gregory Soto is going to be a big part of that. He's been on teams that have won. He's been an All Star. He knows how to pitch. He's very very good against lefties, not against righties, but very very good against lefties. And he has about a 4 ERA, which is having him as the second lefty is huge. Some teams would have him as their first lefty, and we have him as their second. Brooks Raley has earned the right to be that number 1 lefty, if you want to say that's the case. So they're very happy to see Gregory Soto on board. And this is the last thing I wanted to talk about here was a trade deadline expectation. So to me, I feel they need a third baseman or center fielder. To David Stearns, from what he said in the public, he really doesn't think they need a hitter very much. But if he said they had to pick a position, it would be center field. So he also could be lying because sometimes he goes out there and does things that people don't expect. So maybe that could be the case. We'll see what happens, but I definitely think third base or center field. I know third base has been a revolving door with Beatty, Mauricio, Vientos, whoever you want to think of putting there, especially those three. Not really anyone else has played. Acuna played there a little bit, but he wasn't really someone that would be consistent at third base. But what I'm saying is they can use a bat there or center field, whatever position. I know McNeil plays center a little bit. Me personally, in the playoffs, I don't feel that I can feel comfortable doing that, putting him in center. I know he's played good there, and he hits. He's been hitting whatever position he's played. But playing center field, I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable. Dealing with some things can happen in the postseason, especially covering ground on certain fields. And I'd rather have a guy that will go out there and be a consistent arm and glove out there that can actually consistently do it. Because McNeil will still be in the lineup playing second. It's just that I'd rather have someone in center that can be trusted. And it we'll see what they do with that. I'll talk about some names on Monday of who I think they should get, who they probably will get, and some guys I don't think they should that they probably will be interested in just because it's a move. But we'll see what happens. But I really do think that Stearns likes what the lineup is right now. But I think that they really want to make a push of the World Series, one more bat, even if it's a DH. Say they go out there and get a DH. I know that may not make Marte and Winker happy, but if they can get another bat along the way, if you really think McNeil can get it done and Taylor can get it done in center, then you go out there and get a DH if that's what they want to do. But we'll see what happens with that. But the pitching definitely need a little more in terms of bullpen. I think you go out there. It depends how they feel about certain guys. Me, I feel you get one more legit righty that can set up for Diaz. then you live with the rest of the bullpen the way it is. If not, if you want to get two lower guys, two like middle relievers, then you can do that. But I think they should go out and really try to get. I don't know who it could be right now. I don't know who it could be. Stay tuned for that. But I think that if they can go out there and get a legit setup man, or even if a guy that's a closer on another team that can come in and set up Diaz, that doesn't really matter. I don't think that's a big, a big deal. But go out there, get up a guy that can set up Diaz, and that's big. It's something hopefully they can go out there and acquire. And then if they can, I think they should go and get another starter. Just because Clay Holmes looks like he's running out of gas a little bit. He pitches 5 innings and he pretty much can't go anymore. So that's something they need to they need to you need to think about. And maybe Clay Holmes could be a guy that goes in the bullpen in the postseason, and then you have another starter. That's a lot of different things that you take into account. So we'll see what happens. But starter and a mix of relievers or whatever. But definitely, if the starters market is what they like, I would go out there and get one. And it's gonna, it'll cost a little bit, but you got to go out there and try to make a move. Especially at this team. You look at this team. You think if you get this piece and that piece, they're probably two or three pieces away, and it very easily you can get these guys. This farm system is a really really good, and I think some guys you got to be able to part with. You can't keep everybody because you're not gonna be able to play everybody. Especially you look at the outfields for the Mets. Soto and Nimmo are going to be at the corners for a while, so you may have center field is open. Lindor is going to be at short for as long as you can think. Alonso probably, I assume he gets a contract, he'll be at first for a while. So that's really only three positions on the field that are open. And then catcher feels like Alvarez, if he can keep what he's doing right now, that's going to be locked in as well. So there's not really many positions for these guys to come up and play. That's something you need to keep into account. But yeah, that'll do it for episode 55. I just want to encourage everyone go out there and watch our videos on TikTok, our reels on TikTok, Instagram as well, of course, and then YouTube. Subscribe to JD's Empire Sports Talk on YouTube and give us a like, a comment, do whatever, especially during the live streams. A bunch of different whatever you want to do. We love the comments. We love to see what the feedback we get, and maybe something you don't agree with, something you do agree with, whatever the case may be. But that'll do it for episode 55. Yeah, JD out.